Hello friends, welcome to week 3 of my 12 weeks of Christmas series. It is already just flying by. I cannot believe it. Today I have an adorable box for you. I know you guys were like, when is she getting to the boxes? The boxes that are going to hold lots of treats are going to have to wait until after Halloween until they start getting their Christmas stuff up. I am checking stores frequently to see if there are Christmas things out. Christmas treat boxes are coming. Today, though, I have another adorable treat box that I think you're going to like. We are using, let me show you the products we're using before I show you what's inside, because what's inside is very adorable, and I want to show you the products. We are using, now these are products that we've already used in our first 2 weeks, so you guys will have recognized these already. We're using the seasonal tag stamp set. We're going to use lots of the different greetings in here. I love them. You can already see that on the outside. I'm also using the decorative, is that what they're called? Oh no, pattern tags dies, sorry. These are phenomenal dies. I just love all of the different varieties and patterns that we're using. And then I'm also bringing out the Christmas Tags and More DSP. This is a 6x6 stack. It is beautiful, and it comes with some die cut pieces. Let me see if I can pull them out carefully, but there are little pieces in the DSP that you can actually die cut little, little pieces out and use those. And so we're going to actually do that today. So you'll want to get the Christmas Tags and More paper. This paper is phenomenal. I love it. And then the pattern tags and seasonal tags. That's what we're using. Now, if you have other tag dies, or if you have a different stamp set that you want to use, by all means, use what you have. All right, so let's take a look inside. When you open it up, there is little tags inside, and you'll notice that this side is blank, but we're going to make the tags that fill that in. Now, I am only putting 6 tags in my box. They're a little bit bulky, but you could probably fit more tags. You can maybe make 8 or 10 tags. I'm showing you 3 different varieties of tags to fit in your tag box, and what a cute little storage solution this would be for you, or this would make a great gift for somebody. And then they have tags to use for so many gifts this year. So let's actually start. We're actually gonna, we'll start with the box. Let's make the box first. I was gonna say let's make all the tags, but let's make the box first. All right, let's grab my Simply Scored. I am using cherry cobbler cardstock, and you need a piece that is 10 by 6. So let's start on the 10-inch side. Now I do want to remind you that if you want to make this box, please check the video description or my blog, which is linked in the video description, for all the measurements. Measurements are always listed correctly in the typed video description or on my blog. Sometimes I misread something or I say something incorrectly, so please always refer to the typed measurements. All right, so 10 by 6 on the 10-inch side. Let's score it at 1. Then we're going to score it at 4.5, 5.5. Oh, that jumped. Woo. 5.5 and 9. Okay, let's turn it to the 6-inch side, and we're going to score it at 1 inch on each side. So that's easy. 1 inch, and I'm just going to rotate it around and do 1 inch again. All right, now we have a second piece of cherry cobbler to score. This is for the little insert that's going to be like our little divider of the tags box. So this insert is 5.5 by 3 3/8. We are going to score on the 5.5 inch side at 1 7/8. Oops, I jumped again. Oh my goodness. 1 7/8, 2 3/4. I'm trying to read my measurements to make sure that I don't say anything wrong, and I'm not paying attention to my tracks. And 3 5/8. Okay, that's it. 3 score lines on that one. All right, let's put this away. Let's put you away. We'll get our bone folder out, and we will start burnishing. Now this one is easy. You're gonna fold down that middle one, and then you're just gonna fold backwards on the 2 next to it, just like that. Cherry cobbler, I don't use it. It's not my favorite red, but I do like it for holidays. But it always feels stiffer. And I don't know if it's the amount of pigmentation they have to put in the cardstock to get it to be this gorgeous rich red, but if you ever really want a super sturdy box, cherry cobbler is a winner. It always feels a little bit stiffer to me. I don't know if that's just me. Whoops. I don't think I followed that score line very well. There we go. I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. It always feels a little stiffer. All right, so give that some good burnishing. All right, let's start with our box. There's no trimming at all on this piece. This piece is ready. We're just gonna set that aside. Let's start with our box. Now, the box is symmetrical, so it doesn't matter which side is your bottom, which side is your top. It doesn't matter. We're actually gonna trim both sides the exact same way, so it doesn't matter. So holding it in the landscape position, we're gonna focus on the bottom part here first. So I'm gonna cut each square at an angle, and I'm gonna trim it up on the score line. I have like glue on my scissors, so everything's gonna stick. So basically, for all the little square tabs, I'm doing that. So cut up on the score lines, and then trim them all at an angle, just like that. Just kind of pull these little triangle tabs out. So this box is actually super simple to put together, and you don't have to put tags in it. I mean, if you want to fill it up with treats or something else, by all means. It's a nice size box. It's 1 inch deep. Let me give you full measurements here. By 4 by 3.5. So 3.5 by 4 by 1. So it's a good size box. You can definitely fit quite a bit in there. All right, we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other side. I really need to clean my scissors. This is driving me crazy. I gotta grab a different pair of scissors because everything sticking to those are driving me crazy. So grab another pair. Let's try these. See if these are sticky. I need to wash my scissors. Straight up the score lines and then just notch in. I love boxes like this that are completely symmetrical because it's just so easy. You don't have to worry about, did I cut the top wrong? Did I cut the bottom wrong? It's all the same. It doesn't matter. It's fine. All right. That is what your box should look like at this point. Super simple, right? Now from this point, you will have to decide which is the bottom, which is the top. Again, it's symmetrical. Doesn't matter. I'm actually going to flip this over. And on all these little tabs, on all 6 of these little tabs that we just trimmed, I'm gonna put some adhesive, and I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus. Oh no, I just dropped a bunch of my tag pieces. I'm using Stampin' Seal Plus, something super strong. You can use liquid glue. That's actually my first choice when it comes to boxes, but then we'd have to sit and watch it dry. So, okay. So on all 6 of those little tabs, you have adhesive. So at this point, just decide what's my bottom, what's my top. They're all going to go together the same way. So you're just going to line up the cut edge with the score line to make that corner. Just like that. Now for the bottom, they're going to all fold in on one side. Just like this. And then for the top, you'll just have just the 2 to do, the 2 corners. You get all that done, and then you have your box that closes perfectly, right? All right, let's get that. We will add a thumb notch later, guys, I promise, because let's get that little piece inside, the little separator. I'm going to add just a line of adhesive down the center, and then just a little bit on each side. You really don't have to glue this down to the inside, but I'm going to, just to make sure everything sits nicely. So just glue that together so it kind of looks like that. And then this will just slide right in. You just kind of center it up a little bit. There you go. You have your little divider that's going to hold tags perfectly. All right, let's work on those tags, and then we'll work on the outside of the box. I got to pick up all the ones that fell. I have them all piled next to me, and a whole bunch of them just fell. So give me 1 second. Okay, we'll start with the one that fell. Okay, so you can see I have my pieces. Now I have already pre-stamped all of my my pieces. So just to make the video go a little quicker, the stamping is pretty straightforward. You can see I just stamped Happy Holidays in real red on just a scrap of cardstock. On the back is to and from, and we'll talk about that in just a second, but it's super easy. So I decided to do the stamping in advance because that's going to help us out. All right, so for the tags this time, so I have this beautiful piece of DSP. Now this side, I love this side, and I thought this is going to be gorgeous if we just layered up like that, but it just looks so busy that I was like, well, that actually doesn't look very good. So we're actually going to use the other side, which is so cute. So festive. And then you still get to see the entire pattern of that gorgeous flower on the back. This is from the Traditions of Christmas DSP. So this is that gorgeous DSP, and we're using this for the other tags too. But there are just gorgeous gold patterns in here. Oh, look at that pattern. So beautiful. So the Traditions of Christmas DSP, you can grab this in my online store now. I've used it a ton. I love it. So that's what we're going to do. Now, if you watched last week's video with the gift card slider, you'll see that I die cut these super delicate pieces on adhesive sheets, and that made life 1000% easier. I didn't do that today. So I'm going to show you how to adhere them with glue, and you're going to see why the adhesive sheets are better. So just lots of little dots of glue. The adhesive sheets are really, if you're making a bunch of these, especially if you're making a bunch of tags, if you're filling these boxes with lots of tags, please, please, please use adhesive sheets. They will make your life easier. All right, we're just going to line this up. Make sure the corners are lined up. Make sure the little circle is lined up. Plus with adhesive sheets, there's no drying time. So everything just goes that much quicker. All right, we're going to give that a little burnish. Make sure all that glue is adhering. All right, for our greeting, we're going to stick it on with dimensionals. So I'm just going to stick dimensional on the back. And we're going to be trimming off the edges of these because let's do it right side up. Because I cut them all a little bit longer just to make sure we had some extra room. And then we'll just turn them over. Let's see, that doesn't want to, we're going to need another dimensional back there. It's kind of wiggling about. Need one more on this side. Okay, let's make sure it's nice and straight. And we'll just flip it over and then trim the edges. So it's really easy. Just flip it over and trim the edges. Now, there's nowhere to stamp because this DSP is so gorgeous. There's nowhere to stamp the to and from. I didn't do that straight. Hold on, hold please, and then see if I can adjust this a little bit because now it's going to drive me crazy. So I'm going to just put some adhesive on the back of this. So I just stamped the to and from on this one. We'll just stick it on the bottom. And the to and from are from that tag stamp set too, so everything all in one. All right, perfect. Easy peasy. The tags are really quick once you get everything die cut. All right, now I have some of this ribbon. What is it called? This ribbon is so much fun. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like a towel texture. It's very fun. Fluffy trim. It's like a fluffy little towel ribbon. So cute. Now, it's adorable. It doesn't make great bows though. I tried. But it's so bulky. It is very bulky. I wouldn't use it on a card unless I was using it flat. But it's so bulky that it's so hard to use it on a card. But it's so fluffy. It's like Santa's sleeves. It's fantastic. So I still want to use it. So I'm going to just trim it through the hole, thread it through the hole. I'm going to use a little clothespin. Just hold it all together up at the top. Then I have some twine. This is from the, oh gracious, I'm not going to remember the name of this. Can I reach it? This is from the Early Espresso and Old Olive linen thread package. And I'm just going to tie a bow. That clothespin is going to hold everything together. So I can just tie a bow with this. We'll see. This is why I don't tie them on camera, guys. Look at me. Like, I am going to tie a knot to hold this all in place because that will make life easier. Tie a knot first. And with linen thread and baker's twine, it's small enough that you do have that luxury. You can tie a knot first. Okay, got the bow. Pull off the paper clip. Or not the paper clip, the clothespin. Then you can adjust your bow as needed. Give it everything a little trim. I'm going to trim this just a little bit. Just like that. And we'll trim these edges just a little. Perfect. And that is our first tag. Super cute, right? Okay, let's load up our box. Which one are we doing? Which one are we putting in? It just occurred to me that now I have 2 boxes and I don't have enough tags for 2 boxes. So I'm going to have to make more tags. That's okay. So we'll put those in there. Ready to go. Let's work on our next tag. So this is our next one. So I've already pre-tied this bow, guys. Don't worry. And then we have more of that DSP. I have the little tag anchor piece from the Pattern Tags dies. These little gifts here are die cut pieces from that DSP. You just pop them out. Already stamped my greeting in Mossy Meadow. And no adhesive sheet. So, the first one wasn't so bad because there was lots of open spaces. This one is going to be a little bit trickier because this is maybe my favorite one with the die cut branches, but there's not a lot of room for putting adhesive. So it makes it a little bit trickier to hide it. So adhesive sheets. I'll say it again. All right, we're going to set that down. Now, if you wanted, now I did stamp the back. I'm not stamping the backs of these just to keep things moving a little bit, but I did stamp the two in the from in Mossy Meadow, and then I stamped some of the branches from that stamp set. I stamped this little branch in Old Olive that was stamped off just so that it was just slightly there, but not all the way there. It's just so that you still had room to write. All right, Merry Christmas is going to go on with dimensionals, so let's grab some of those. This one I've already trimmed down. We're not going to have to trim anything on this one. And it's just barely going to fit. A tiny bit of the edges will hang off, but that's okay. And I'm going to just add a little dot of glue. You can use a glue dot or a dimensional here for our little gift. And then I'm going to add a little line of glue here for our little tag reinforcer. This is an optional one that you can die cut, but I think it's just so adorable from that tag dies, just like that. And that's another place a adhesive sheet would be perfect. All right, so let's grab a glue dot. We'll attach our little bow here. This is from the gold baker's twine. So cute, just like that. Ah, so cute. There's different little gifts on them, so they're adorable. Isn't that adorable? So cute. All right, our last tag that we're going to make. All right, let me move my glue dots out of the way. Let me grab these little supplies. So some ribbon. Now this one I already fussy cut. If you don't want to fussy cut, you can just stamp it just on it. You can just get another piece of white and stamp it. I did fussy cut it. Now, fussy cutting words. If you have trouble fussy cutting words, take a pencil and just outline it and then just follow your pencil line. That is a super helpful tip to get words. And so I often do that with my words. I don't do that with images, but with words, because you really want the words to look good, I often do that with words. Okay, so I just swiped that glue across all the stripes on the back. And we'll just adhere this down. Just like that. Oh, so pretty. I love this pattern. So pretty. Just like that. Okay, now let's stick our greeting on with some dimensionals. So let's see. I might have to trim some. Yeah, I'm going to have to trim these in half. Mini dimensionals would also work, and you don't have to trim them in half. Whatever you want to do, though. Okay. And I'm going to trim one more in half for my greeting. It's a thinner greeting, so just want to make sure that we have enough adhesive holding everything down. All right, I'm going to put the Christmas part on first. That's going to go at an angle just to mimic those stripes that are die cut into it, and then we'll stick on Mary right on top. So cute. All right, let's tie our bow. This is the Secret Sea ribbon, and I'm just going to thread that through. This is going to be thicker ribbon, so I'm not even going to tie a knot. I'm just going to make sure that's kind of even at the top. For the front piece, I'm just going to loop it up. I'm going to make a loop like this, and then the back piece, I'm going to wrap it around the front, and then I'm going to put it kind of right where I'm holding that loop. So I'm holding that loop with my finger and my thumb. I'm going to wrap the back piece around the front, and then I'm going to make another little loop like with this piece, and I'm just going to push it through where that finger was, and just pull it, just kind of adjust it as you go, and just keep pulling it, keep adjusting, keep pulling, and you have like the perfect bow, and no knot, no nothing, and it's perfect, right? All right, let's grab our scissors. We're going to trim these edges. That's a nice little tip to like really eliminate the bulk off of bows. It doesn't work with all ribbons. It wouldn't work with the that like the fluffy ribbon I showed you, this ribbon. Oh, it might, I don't know. But I found that it doesn't work with super bulky ribbons, but isn't that cute? And then on the back, I just stamped in secrecy the 2 in the front. All right, so we'll stick those in our box, and I'll have to make 6 more for my other box that we're gonna finish up now. All right, so for the front of the box, let's get these pieces going. So I've already pre-done these pieces. I've pre-die cut 2 pieces from that same Traditions of Christmas DSP. This would be gorgeous too, right? We're gonna use this cherry cobbler side. And I have a piece of white that is 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. This is gonna go right on the front, but we're gonna stamp Mary on it first. We're gonna stamp Mary from that greeting, from those tags. I'm gonna stamp it all the way to the right, maybe like an inch above, just like that. All right, I'm gonna put my cherry cobbler ink away because I will no doubt stick my whole hand in that. All right, I'm going to stick this onto my box. I'm gonna try not to smear that greeting. Every time I use cherry cobbler, I smear it, so I'm not even gonna touch it. We're gonna stay as far away from it as possible. All right, excuse me. Right now on my 2 tags, I'm going to put adhesive on both of these. I'm using a strong adhesive. You can use liquid adhesive too. I'm not putting adhesive on the very top here. I want this on both of them to stay loose so we can kind of lift it up. All right, we are going to adhere these down. Whoops. I'm going to go kind of right where the Mary, where the M kind of goes up this way. That's where I'm going to line this one up. And then actually let me go up a little higher if it'll let me. Let's start on the back this time. Get off me. Line it up on the back. This is the back of the box. I'm just going to line up against the edge. I don't want to go over that far. This way. Okay. The edge of the box. And then we're just going to kind of bend it and fold it over. So that's basically where I had it. Got a nice little press, nice little bend. And make sure that we can still get under there, which we can. We didn't put any adhesive there. And we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to kind of line this up this way this time. I don't want them touching. I want there to be a tiny bit of separation. And then we're just going to fold this over this way and adhere that down. And let's open up our box. Okay, and we'll trim this off. Perfect. Took me a couple tries, but we got it. And then we're going to add a little finger notch. I'm just using a 1/2 inch circle punch. I'm just going to eyeball center and just add a little finger notch. That's just going to help us open and close this box. Just like this. Super cute, right? Oh my gosh, isn't it adorable? And this is just a fun, different way to use those tags. All right, we are going to tie some of the early espresso trim now from that early espresso and old olive linen thread. Let's see, this is going to go right through, in one, out one, and then we'll just tie a bow with these. And I'm going to make sure that the bow is more not really centered. I want it closer to this top tag here. Let's tie a knot. Hold that in place. We'll tie a knot. There we go. And then we'll tie a bow. And I want this bow to be nice and big. So we'll kind of leave that big. Cut this edge off. All right, let's finish embellishing it. I have a couple more little tags from those from that die cut. That paper. And we're going to add this little candy cane right over those little tag pieces. This one I did bells on this one. Doing candy canes on this one. I'll add another dimensional to the leaves. And that will kind of come out this way. And then we have another Christmas that has been stamped in early espresso, just to kind of bring in that linen thread. Cut a dimensional in half. We'll peel off the backings. We're almost done with this adorable box, guys, I promise. Just Christmas right along the bottom there. All right, let's finish it up. I have some, these are the opal rounds. We're gonna use these clear ones. They are sparkly. They're nice and big. I don't think they're mail friendly. The post office would not like these. So I like to save these for boxes. And so when I saw how sparkly these were, I was like, yes, I will use those. And we're gonna do one here and one more. You can really kind of go crazy with these embellishments because they're nice and big. You're gonna hand deliver this box more than likely. So you don't have to worry about it being too big for the mail. And that is it. That is our sweet little tag box. Let's look at our tags that we made to go in it. I will have to make more because now I have another box to fill. But what do you guys think? I hope you guys love this sweet little tag box. It's not too complicated to make, and I think it's kind of fancy and beautiful all at the same time. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Make sure to leave me a comment. So that was week 3. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel so you never miss a video. I'll be back next week for week 4 of my 12 weeks of Christmas series. So have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys later. Bye.